Hello, this is Mr. Lowry, and today's objective is 3.9 DII. We will analyze an informational text by recognizing text and graphic features such as graphs, tables, headings, photographs, diagrams, and maps. Again, a part of informational text or nonfiction. One other thing we're going to go over is 3.9 DII. We will recognize organizational patterns such as compare and contrast, cause and effect, and problem and solution. And we're going to be looking at cause and effect. Text and graphic features are maps, photographs with captions, graphs, diagrams, and the sections that the text is broken into with the titles. This is an example of a graph, like a bar graph. We'd talk about this in math. This is showing your favorite type of movies. And then this is an example of a diagram. This diagram is showing the water cycle. Just remember that a diagram, basically you have a picture and then you have words that label things. Cause and effect. Cause is the reason why something happens or why something happened. The effect is what happens as a result. Some of the vocabulary here, we have surface, which is the outside or outermost part of something, like smooth. Could be the skin of a person's skin. The surface of a person's skin could be smooth. It could also be rough, like the concrete outside is a surface that's very rough. We'll be talking about the surface of the earth, which is the part that we live on, called the crust. And if you think about the surface of the moon, it's a very dusty atmosphere. As you can see, the boot prints from the astronauts that walked on it. It's the surface of the moon is very dusty. Landforms are natural features of Earth's surface, such as mountains and valleys. Mountains are just the high points, valleys are the low points. When you have mountains, that low part in the middle and between the mountains is called the valley. Again, this is a nonfiction text. Another word for it is informational, and also sometimes expository is used. Planet of change. Earth's surface is always changing. Most of these changes happen slowly. They can take hundreds or even thousands of years. Some changes, however, happen quickly. In fact, Earth's surface can change in a matter of minutes, hours, or days. Big changes. Remember here, we have our titles or headings or the titles of the different sections. Big changes. Natural disasters such as earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis can happen without warning. They can change Earth's surface in a big way very quickly. An earthquake's shaking can create large holes or cracks in the land. A volcano's hot lava can create new landforms when cooled. The wall of water from a tsunami can destroy forests, roads, and buildings. Underline sentences that help you find a cause and effect text structure. Again, we're talking about things that cause the Earth's surface to change. Name 3 different events that can cause changes to the Earth's surface. Layers. Earth is not a solid ball. If you were to cut our planet open, you would see it is made up of 4 layers. The inner core is at the center. It is a solid ball of metal. Around this inner core is the outer core. This layer is liquid metal. The next layer is called the mantle. The mantle is made up of solid rock and minerals. The top layer is the crust. Explain what is being shown in the diagram on page 477. How many layers does the Earth have? Rocky crust. The crust is the thinnest layer. It is made of rock. This is the layer that we live on. The rocks and minerals in the crust are shaped into landforms. Low landforms fill with water to make lakes, rivers, and oceans. Earth's processes are always at work changing the crust. Which is the thinnest layer of the Earth, and what is it made out of? Earthquakes. Earth's crust is divided into plates. A plate is a huge sheet of rock. The plates fit together like big puzzle pieces to form the surface. The plates are moving and rubbing against each other very slowly. Sometimes the edge of one plate is pushed under another plate. This causes an earthquake. During an earthquake, the ground shakes suddenly. Explain what causes an earthquake using the information in paragraph 5. Also, a good question would be, what is the map showing on page 479? Moving and shaking. Earthquakes happen around the world every day. Most are not strong enough to cause any damage. Some, however, can cause the ground to shake violently. During these strong earthquakes, buildings can crumble and fall, and roads can crack and split. Earth's plates can also push together and can cause the rock to bend and fold. This process can create mountains. Describe what the image on page 479 shows. Landslides. During a landslide, rocks and soil suddenly break loose and slide down hills or mountains. Landslides can happen for different reasons. Rivers can eat away at the base of hills and mountains, causing the earth above to fall. Heavy rains can also cause landslides when wet soil turns to mud. The slippery mud will then move downhill quickly. Slipping and sliding. Landslides can be as small as a few large rocks rolling down a hill. They can also be as large as the whole side of a mountain sliding away. The biggest landslides can move a lot of ground very quickly. They change the shape and size of landforms. They fill valleys with soil and rocks. Landslides can happen underwater too. Earthquakes can shake rocks and soil loose and cause a landslide. Name 3 causes of landslides that are mentioned on page 480. The last thing I'm going to have you do is say on what page are these graphic features found on. Map, diagram, and photograph with a caption. That's all the video. Thanks for